Hi, and welcome back again to Japan Soul Traveler. Today we are in December and here the snow already came, and so I feel in the mood to talk about onsen. A few forward before I go on with the topic. I have been very busy lately and not so productive video and blog wise because I have a huge project coming up, and it's like a bookstore completely dedicated to Japan. So it's a huge project and it takes a lot of effort. My attention shifted from the blog to the bookstore, but we are going to open very soon, so I will be able to go back on track blog wise also in a short time. Finger crossed. Back on onsen, so here we go. I think winter is one of the most beautiful times to talk about onsen and to experience onsen, because you can properly enjoy the warmth and the relaxing character of the place. I've been to an onsen. I went to an onsen I think something like 4 years ago, and it was a beautiful place. It's called Takaragawa Onsen and it's in Gunma Prefecture, so in the mountains. And it was the end of the year and it was full of snow, so that's why seeing the snow in these days remind me of that experience. Takaragawa Onsen is a very beautiful place, and it's a huge building with traditional style rooms, and you can stay for the night, so you can experience the whole Japanese life there. I arrived there in late afternoon, almost late afternoon. We relaxed for a moment in our room with our yukata and our futon and everything very traditional. I remember that the sun went down very quickly because it was really winter, so around 7 o'clock in the afternoon we took our robes and we went to the onsen. So we went out while it was snowing. It was a little cold actually, but we reached immediately the spring, the actual pool. You can choose actually if you want to go in a woman only or in a male only or in a more common pool. We chose that one because I was with my husband, so we wanted to experience that together. And so we showered before, we cleaned ourselves, and then we took off our yukata and we entered, of course naked with only our towels, in the warm water. So the water was extremely relaxing because it was very hot and it was dark and it was snowing, so it really was, I don't know, like being in a picture or in a very traditional painting. An amazing view, and the pool was completely out of stones and rocks, so it was very dark, warm, and with this very, how to say, with this somehow clean and relaxing atmosphere. And of course the water is very warm, so maybe you won't be able to resist, I don't know, more than 20 minutes. I was really enjoying the temperature because outside was snowing, but for example my husband was a little dizzy because of the water, so we took back our towels and we went back and we ordered a traditional meal. And so after, I don't know, half an hour, a nice woman came along with the food and taught us and explained us how to properly eat everything that we had on our tray. I think that for me the food there was very Japanese and it was very particular in taste, so it's nothing like you can experience in your country or even in Tokyo. Sometimes you don't feel that taste because it's very local, full of mushrooms and daikon and fish and some maybe taste that you are not very used to. So it's an experience and I would suggest you to have it, but of course it's not for everyone, I guess. So we went to sleep, and the day after we woke up to the amazing view of the whole valley covered in snow, so I guess it was magic. So of course, when we talk about onsen, I think that every one of us has a different image of what an onsen is. So first of all, an onsen is a hot water spring. Of course, an onsen is a natural hot spring bath. Japan is a very renowned place for onsen because it's volcanic, so there are a lot of natural hot springs there and a lot of activity, and onsen water is naturally heated and beneath the ground and then rises to the surface very hot. So to be a proper onsen, the water has to contain some chemical elements that will define it as such. It has to be at least 25 Celsius degree and not less. I guess where I went was even far higher. Mine onsen, which was outside, so it was in the nature, it was outdoor. It also called roteburo, and you can quite often hear this name. Onsen and roteburo are a different thing from sento. Sento is the public bath. So it's a place where, often in the city or I guess anywhere in Japan, where you go, you enter and you shower yourself and then you take a very relaxing and warm bath inside. And it's a classic heated water. I mean, it's not naturally heated, it's not something that comes from below the ground. It's classical water, just heated. The other difference is that onsen are considered to be somehow a treat that you give to yourself, so a moment of peace and relax, while sento are more involved in the everyday life, and it's more common for people to go, I don't know, even every day in a sento to have a moment of cleaning slash relaxing. However, the rules for sento and onsen are quite similar, so whichever you want to experience, you must remember some of these, and of course you will be a foreigner and maybe something will be forgiven, but as I said somewhere before, it's important to acknowledge the fact that there are rules and that you might need to comply to them. I think there are a few rules and I will try to show you some of them. I might forget some, and so if you have some more info, feel free to add in the comment section. The first rule, which for some foreigner might be difficult to comply with, is that you have to be naked. So no speedos, no swimsuit, no any kind of beachwear. You cannot have. You have to be naked. Of course, nowadays for foreigners and for tourists, there are also a lot of ryokan that offer same kind of treatments, so onsen but in private areas, so maybe in the room, and so you don't have to face the problem. You are by yourself or with your partner, so there is no such problem. But for Japanese people, this has never been a deal. It's something they don't care about. So for me, that wasn't a really big deal. I mean, it's no one looks actually to you, so you can feel free to move there and to experience the bath without any problem. The second rule, which for me I think it's extremely important because you are entering a common area, is that you have to shower before you go in. It's not like you are going to take a bath in the sea. You are actually entering a water where other people have to be and want to be, so you have to be properly cleaned and you have to take a thorough shower and to respect the fact that the water must remain clean. Similarly, for the shower, you also have to take care of your hair, and with this I mean, well, now I have shorter hairs, but when I went there I have longer hair, so I had to pull them back and to keep them up, because again, you are in a public area, in a common area, and you have to keep it proper and clean. For the same reason, you don't put your head underwater. It's not something you do. You're not in a swimming pool. You're there to relax the body and to somehow share the experience with the other people that are there. So you don't do that. Again, for the same reason of being in a common place, you should keep the noise very low and you should refrain from very noisy chatting. And everywhere in Japan, you should be very attentive to the people that are around you. The third rule or suggestion is that you should remember your towel. So for us, we had some different towels of different measure and dimension. They are provided by the hotel and they are for different use. For example, the large towel is for drying yourself when you get out, and so it should be left in the changing room, while the small one is to be carried in the bath with you in order to put it on your face and relax your face, or on your head and keep it warm while you're outside. So it's something that you can use while you're taking the bath. Another rule or suggestion again is to refrain from drinking alcohol. There are lots of signs there that will say you're not allowed to drink here, it's not the place to drink, you cannot drink in the bath, you have to wait to go back to your room. And then finally, I think one of the most debated topic while talking about onsen are tattoos. This is for me a touchy subject because I have them and I love them, and it's hard for me to cover them in such an environment because they are on my back and they are not small. Generally speaking, in sento or in onsen, people with large tattoo are not allowed to enter. This is because, as many of you will know certainly, in Japan, for a long time, tattoos are being linked to yakuza, so mob, and they are not a significant trend. A little bit like in Italy, they are not accepted. They are always regarded as criminal. So of course, this is something that go back to the past, but even today, even if there are lots of more tattoo people and more studios, it's still a very complicated subject. So in general, tattooed people won't be allowed in onsen and in sento. If you have tattoo, you are suggested to cover them with a patch, especially if you have a smaller one, so you can have this small patch of the color of the skin, and you can put it over and it won't budge. Even if you are in the water, it won't move, it will cover your tattoo perfectly. However, for my experience, I have quite a significant piece of my on my back, and it's not easy to be hidden. My tattoo is not coverable by a patch because it's bigger and it's on the back. So I had a little bit of anxiety going there because I was thinking, okay, maybe I won't be able to get in. The thing is, I could get in, and probably because I'm a foreigner, probably because I was in a private establishment, and so people were not that picky about that, but I could enter, and so did a lot of people that I know. So maybe even if this is an important rule and something that is very discussed and talked about, I think that today, especially in those locations that are more popular and more touristic, the situation is changing. Nevertheless, you should always ask. You should always be prepared and say, I'm sorry, I have a tattoo and I will cover it, but I won't be able to cover everything, and so what's the deal? What can I do? So this, of course, is not something that everyone can do. I mean, if you have the whole arm, it's probably very difficult for you to cover it up. But I still saw people with a very tattooed body that could enter, so again, maybe it's changing, or maybe it's something that onsen and local structures are adapting to in order to accept foreign tourists. So I think it's it for today, and I really hope that this was interesting for you. If I managed to find some picture of Takaragawa Onsen or some video, I will put them inside because it was very beautiful, enchanted place, and it's something that everyone should see and look with their own eyes. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, and if you didn't subscribe to the channel, please do it because it's something that's very nice. And I hope I will be able to update you about the bookstore project very soon, and I'll talk to you soon.